Good evening, crypto miners. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good whatever, wherever you are. This is Mary, and we are here at Crypto Miners. And today we have an AMA. It's a bit late for us, but why not? I see many people are already tuning in here. Go grab your friends. We will talk with BondPay. And I think we have Mr. Giovanni Torres, the CEO, with us. Is that correct?
Yes, guys, how are you guys?
Hi, Giovanni. Nice to meet you. Welcome.
Nice meeting you guys. Thank you for having us here. We're still
Is it?
waiting for a couple of our guys. I think as of me right now, I'm from Puerto Rico, and right now it's 3 p.m. So I'm just getting my son from school right now.
Ah,
But
it's the
I know that,
morning. It sounds like it's
yeah,
raining where you are. So,
yeah, no. Actually it is really sunny in Puerto Rico right now. It's like at 88 degrees or 90.
oh,
But
nice.
yeah, I mean, it is nice. And we have down there is a meta captain. He's our director of development as well.
Okay. Is it possible for you to talk closer to the microphone, maybe? Or maybe you're done soon with getting your son to the school.
Oh, sorry.
It's a little bit noisy behind you, or I don't know.
No problem.
Are you going to have more people up here? I think there were some other people who wanted to join as well.
Yes, we have a meta captain down there.
Oh yeah, I see him. Hello, Meta Captain, welcome.
He's our director of development, and I think that's us for now. For now, our CEO is actually sick, so he may not be able to actually attend.
Okay, that's fine. It's enough with one person too. It's double fun. So let's have some fun and know about bond pay. So welcome, Meta Captain.
Just Meta's fine too, or Chris. My name's Chris. Thanks for having me. I appreciate the
Hi, Chris.
opportunity to speak.
Yeah, you're welcome here. Your sound was a little bit better even, so let's see. Maybe we will start with you two guys introducing yourself a little bit and the team behind this project.
Sure. So as for myself, I hope that you guys have hear me better. As for myself, my name is Giovanni Torres. I'm from Puerto Rico. I'm a U.S. Air Force staff sergeant. I've been in the Air Force for around 7 years and a half. And I'm the CEO of BondPay Ecosystem slash BondPay Financial. And I've been in the crypto space for around 2 years and a half. So it's been a really great experience so far.
Nice. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, Chris Ginn, Meta Captain's how everyone knows me. Fairly well known amongst BSC. I'm the founder of MetaBUSD, as well as a contributing developer for many projects. One of them being BondPay here. So again, many years developing. Before I was involved in crypto development, I was a PLC programmer and consultant for many large corporations with automation integration, Toyota, Hitachi Automotive Systems, Caterpillar, Champion Conveyor, Baltimore Air Coil, many large Fortune 500 companies. I made the transition into DeFi. Just started to do basic Solidity development and kind of grew from there. I love what I do.
Great. All right. So how many else is in the team behind BondPay?
So we are a team of six, if I'm not mistaken. We have our chief marketing officer, that's Zach. He has a great experience. He was the CMO of one crypto project Affinity, and he actually owns his own marketing company, which is of course Web3. And we have Luca, he's our consultant. We have our spokesperson that right now he got stuck at work, so that's why he's not available. and I think Meta Captain, myself, and our CEO always dictate execute.
Hey Gio, your audio is just really rough, man. But yeah, this BondPay's team does consist of quite a few people. They just onboarded a small legal department. They'll be doing an AMA with their attorney here in the next week. I think it's next Tuesday. Um, we have a CPA who's a consultant with the team that helps kind of with some of the back end infrastructure for making sure all of our accounts are established properly. We'll get kind of into like what the project and business is, and that'll make more sense in a moment. And then we've got Shane, who's just a kind of a just a advisor consultant for the community outreach aspect of project development. And then we have our CMO, Zach, who, again, I think you might have heard from him previously, was a founding member of Affinity BSC. I think they moved over to Algorand now, so I think Affinity's on Algorand. And then Hector, who is the co-founder, he's not here today, I think. Gio was saying that he was sick, but the team's fairly well-rounded, all great experience within their own individual fields. Oh, and then Dan, sorry, Palpable. He's the actual community manager. He kind of handles, we call him community manager, but he's really like a security guy. So he makes sure that all the community channels and the infrastructure is all set up proper to where everybody's safe, secure, and anything like that.
Great. Seems like a solid team. Lots of good people who have been in the space for a long time, right?
That's correct. Can you guys hear me better now?
That's good. Yeah, a little bit better. It's quite a difference between you and Chris, though.
My apologies.
His audio is really good.
My apologies.
Yeah, it's fine. You have to drive your son to school. That's fine. So let's dig into the project now. BondPay. I mean, it gives me associations to 007, or where does the name come from?
Hey, I like you associating with 007. I love the 007 franchise, but honestly, I should probably let Gio say where the name came from. But I do think for me personally, it encompasses just a good feel for a name, at least where I am. Like stocks and bonds, and then payment, and that's kind of what the overall project is all about. It's built around financial infrastructure and allowing banking services for end user.
Yeah.
All right, that's good.
So as for
go ahead.
Yeah, so for BondPay, it's a combination of two words. It's actually bond and pay, right? But bond, we just decided on the bond because when we actually create something, we want to create that bond with the community, and everything that we're going to offer, it's just for them, right? And so the bond just go with just bonding with the community as if we were a family all together. And for pay, I mean, it is because at the first, how do you say it? The first idea was to actually offer payment services just payment services on the DeFi space, and that's why. I mean, BondPay is just a bond, and pay, I mean, it is pay, right?
Yeah, very good. All right, I'll stop thinking about James Bond then. and let you explain the project to me. What is it all about, or how did you think when you started it? What kind of problem did you try to solve or see in this crypto space that you wanted to solve with this project?
So at first, the idea came from one time that we were deployed. It was in Okinawa, and there was one of our guys that didn't have money to pay for his food because his bank actually canceled or suspended his account because he didn't said that he was going to Okinawa. So fortunately enough, they offered crypto as a payment method. and we just transferred him BNB, and he just paid for the whole for his food with crypto. So as for we just thought about it, and we just said, hey, what why can't we actually have this in the States? And since I'm from Puerto Rico, sometimes the system gets a little bit bad, let's just say like that, and we don't have access to the banks 24/7. And that's where BondPay came, the idea came from. Like, why can we actually create an infrastructure, a financial infrastructure, where we can offer everyone the opportunity to make every type of transaction in a legal, compliant way without all the bad things about the TradFi or traditional finance.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to cut in real quick on that because it's a really good point to kind of get into the next little bit where you take that idea and you say, how do we accomplish this and then also bring something unique to the market that somebody might appreciate and utilize? And a strong focus on this development has gone into two things. First, vertical integration, making sure that all products and services are not just compliant, but in unison with one another. And not to leave that vague, what we mean by that is if you have to KYC on platform for one item, that KYC can be applicable for numerous items. So make sure that all partner providers for any services are also in conjunction with our KYC provider or our in-house KYC services. And then furthermore, how do you offer these items that we've all learned to love and service offerings from central exchanges, for instance, but eliminate the problem of the trust factor that has hit us all so heavily over the past year, especially with things like FTX? And BondPay has some very unique account offerings that deliver the solution.
Great. And you talk about collaborating with banks also, right? Is there any particular banks that reach out to you already, or that you partner up with, or how does that work?
Yeah,
Can you hear me? Oh, yeah.
Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it, Gio, who you're currently working with. But yes, they are currently working with a banking service provider, also alongside their current infrastructure providers, which is provided from Circle. So they're working with Circle and one of their subsidiaries for the actual account infrastructure needs, and then their banking services is provided from a third party. The actual name I don't have right in front of me, but I'm sure Gio does.
Yes, we do. But as for the only name that we can actually say right now is just Circle. But all the other ones, unfortunately, we are on NDA. So, I mean, as of right now, we can't. But we do have provided for KYC, for the bill payments, for the crypto debit cards, for the TradFi project, for that's the sponsor bank, etc. And they will all help us achieve what we're trying to achieve here in Bombay.
Great. So you talk with lots of different potential partners that's coming along the road. Then that's good. It's always a secret, right? We have to wait. So what are the features in this ecosystem that if I choose to use your ecosystem, what can I get help with as a user?
Yeah, I mean, so some of the struggles that we've all had in the past, and you're seeing more and more solutions come to light recently. But BondPay again is providing all of these things in a vertical integration manner, is being able to switch between chains quickly, easily, and with low fees. Not having to burn a ton of gas between moving your currencies from ETH to Bitcoin or from Bitcoin to Binance or Matic, wherever you want to go, being able to switch between those chains quickly, easily, without having to pay a lot of fees. Ease of on-ramp and off-ramp solutions, and then providing, which is like my favorite part, some of the unique service offerings that are typically only available to traditional finance, which is like institutional lending services. Being able to bring those over to a platform that's directly accessible from the Web3 community, and as well being able to allow those community members to leverage those assets towards those financial institutions for said services is something that, again, is fully wrapped up in the overall development process for BondPay. They need to be able to deliver these services to the common everyday man, especially in regions that they're currently involved in and working in, that are hard hit by natural disasters and lack infrastructure needs for like the actual traditional banking services.
So I'm gonna be able to use my crypto to pay with through a credit card provided by
Yeah, yeah,
BondPay.
like a simple BondPay card for being able to spend your crypto. Sorry, I kind of glance over those things because I assume that a lot of people know that those are givens. But yes, absolutely, like a card for BondPay attached to the wallet. Absolutely, you can use your other currencies directly to off ramp from there as well. There will be some fees attached to that. Of course, there has to be a revenue model to support all of this and continue to the development. But because the account infrastructure is built the way it is, and we're able to limit gas fees and move the transactions around all through a ledger-based system, that really lets us maximize the ability to keep those fees low for the end user, but still retain some revenue for the project.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, there are though lots of other projects doing or claiming to do similar things or about to do similar things. So how do you cope with that, and how will you try and stand out amongst all those others?
Yeah, so you're not wrong. And it's kind of one of those exciting things for the everyday end user right now in DeFi that so many projects are coming out with a lot of these service offerings around the same time and trying to push it to the forefront, which is great for all of us. But where BondPay separates itself and really stands out is how the foundation has been laid with its account infrastructure. To get into a little bit more technically, so the way the account works is whenever you sign up, you're given your 0x. You're not logging in, though, with a seed phrase because as soon as the private key is generated for the account, as soon as it's created, it's actually shattered into pieces. And those pieces are spread out for security reasons. Again, this infrastructure is provided through Circle. And because it's built on this infrastructure, it's insured up to $15 million. But those security keys are shattered. You're then using a socket to socket login connection to access the platform. That account that you were given is your account. That is 0x. Nobody can touch it. The key does not exist. We do have access to recover and close accounts directly through Circle, but not individually as a third party. That allows us to do many, many things with our financial partners that is a requirement of theirs to offer some of their services, such as lending services and things like that. Anyways, so with your 0x account, what you're able to do is at all times go to your blockchain explorer or any blockchain explorer, multi-chain explorer, verify your account, all of its holdings at all times. Furthermore, you're able to verify all other accounts on platform as you see wish. If there's an escrow services account that you want to see, if there's a master holdings account, or if there's a credit card resolution account, all of that information is publicly available through the multi-chain explorer at all times. This is the strong difference between BondPay and like a centralized exchange. There's no black box here.
Interesting. But I'm not really sure I understand. It is like a wallet where I can keep my funds, but I don't need a seed phrase. How do I access it? Can you tell me again, or what do I
Yeah,
use to access it?
you'll access it through an account login. So it's the same way like you'll generate a password, a username, a password,
Okay,
and then
okay, okay.
as well you'll attach two-factor authentication. So the same way that you kind of do through a centralized exchange account, but the difference is here that your 0x that you get is responsive in holdings of all your holdings at all times and every single other holdings. And nobody else has access to that private key because that private key has been shattered from inception.
Okay. All right. So the security system is different from most other uh, similar projects, and that's your, well, how do you say that in English? That's your specialty or special thing.
Correct. That's really the strong differentiating factor because like whenever you're talking about again of like these other services that they're offering, the bill payment, the peer-to-peer lending, stuff like that, you can piecemeal this stuff out from a bunch of other projects. Everybody's kind of offering something of what BondPay is offering. But being able to bring it all together and built on this foundation is what the difference is. In even working with like the large entities that we are working with who do have these account infrastructures in place elsewhere, we're the only ones that have adapted it directly for end user application. In most cases, it's only for enterprise solutions.
And as I understand you, you have a token and you're in pre-sale mode right now, right? Is that correct? Can I buy your token now in pre-sale?
Yes, they are in pre-sale mode. They have a swapper address, so you just have to send ETH directly to a swapper address, and it will automatically send you back BPAY tokens. Nobody can do anything with those tokens yet. It doesn't launch for about 3 more weeks, but those tokens are in your wallet, and you don't have to claim them. So when the pre-sale is over, it'll go straight to Uniswap, and trading will commence. You can
Okay.
also purchase it from Coinbase Commerce right now as well.
Okay, and then I can use my credit card right away, I think there.
Yeah, you should be able to use your credit card and as well as like Bitcoin and other. You don't have to use Ethereum.
Yeah, okay. Cool. And I get the tokens right away in my wallet. And I read that on your Telegram page, I think, or group, how you can do that. It was written there in the pinned messages, how to buy. So if anyone wants to go, no financial advice, guys, as we never do here, except always only invest what you can afford to lose. That's my only advice. Otherwise, you do your own research as usual. So, BondPay, you have also something called BondPay trade fee checking account. Is that what we were talking about now, or is that something else?
So that is exactly what we were just talking about.
Yeah,
So
okay.
that's everything that we just talked about is there. And then short of that, they will be offering a strictly DeFi wallet that has certain offerings. But what that is that's an account that you do have a key for. So you get your private key and you also you won't ever be able to KYC through that account into the KYC offerings from the other one. Of course, that one's not insured the way the other one is. It operates a whole lot more like just like a regular MetaMask would.
So you can choose as a user, you can choose if you want to have the insurance and KYC or be 100% DeFi.
Yeah, the purpose of BondPay is always going to be to try to be as inclusive as possible and give as many offerings to the base DeFi maxi always. That's what their
Okay.
inception was. They wanted to
Mm.
be able to just offer every service possible to anybody. And then through the process of development, have figured out that there's a lot, like for instance, they started off as a BSC project, but there's a lot of things that are currently in place with regulations and are coming down the pipeline that kind of force their hand on a few things. Um, these aren't bad things, though. These are great things, great solutions that, through the adoption of coming regulations, have produced very unique solutions to what they see as being a coming problem in the market.
I mean, the thing with assurance is insurance is, I think, maybe incoming. It hasn't been talked too much about yet, but I think people are looking for it. Those who wants to KYC, that is. What's
Yeah,
your
well,
take on that?
and it gives direct access to other services that you don't quite immediately think about. But whenever you're
Mm.
talking about lending services and being able to have accountability for both the lender and the collateralizer, that you have to be able to KYC, you have to be able to tie that into an institution in order to have that leverage. For instance, these guys, in order for some of their swaps to work, they had to have those currencies backed one for one. And then, like, for their card processing, master account, for all that to collateralize, it has to all be backed one to one at all times. So all of these things are end up also requiring KYC and everything else. So figuring out a way to layer all that together into one smooth account really has just been the focus. That way they can give as many services to anyone as possible.
Yeah, and something that always comes to mind then when the project comes on here and say they have, like you talked about, you have normal things like most other has as well maybe, but you have something special like your security system is different. Uh, and how are you bringing it out there to for people to know? How will you well adopt people or get out to new users? What is your strategy?
Yeah. So this is something that I've taken to the team.
Oops, I think we lost you.
I think we did. Chris, can you hear?
Maybe he zoned out for a while. Well, Twitter is a little bit weird today. I got a message from someone who couldn't listen in either. I'm not sure. But you can still hear me,
Yeah, I can hear you and you
Giovanni?
can talk, but there's a car in front of me that's really noisy. So let me see if I can
Okay.
after real quick.
We can have a disco at the same time you talk then.
Yeah,
Uh,
here's I mean Puerto Rico is a lot of I don't know, like Bad Bunny and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of reggaeton and trap and all that kind of stuff. So you
yeah, yeah.
you're just gonna see a lot of people here with their cars, like with music really loud.
It's interesting. We're traveling the world with together with you. I'm in Sweden, you're in Puerto Rico. We have people from all over the world here. It's
So,
fun.
so Chris just texted
All right.
that his phone died, actually.
His phone died. Okay, I can still see him in there. Anyway, we can wait for him, but maybe you can take that question then if you can talk and drive at the same time. Is that okay for you?
Yeah, sure. If I'm not mistaken, you're asking for what technically what would our marketing strategy will be, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So we just onboarded a week ago, if I'm not mistaken. We just onboarded our CMO. He's Zach. He was the CMO of a project called Affinity, and he's a CEO of Engage. Sorry, Endorse Web3. He has a vast experience in all this space. And right now he's running campaigns just technically just everything that you can imagine right now a PR that our PR I think is coming up between today and tomorrow if I'm not mistaken. And he's taking care of technically of everything that has to do with the marketing, and he's a great accessible guy and with lots of experience.
That's good. So lots of things happening. What is that? Can you mention maybe
Yeah,
some?
actually he mentioned it at the let me look up the list right now because like I said, he's a great guy and he's really transparent and he's always on top of it, technically everything. So the first thing,
I think, yeah, we have him back. Meta Captain is back. He's coming. I, I'm worried when you're driving and reading at the same time there,
yeah,
Giovanni.
yeah, true.
That's not good.
Can you hear us, Chris?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear what the question was, but I'm back now. I
Chris
apologize.
is back.
My phone.
Yeah, we were talking about the marketing strategies.
Oh yeah, well they
What's
just
in the
hired
pipeline?
a CMO. His name's Zach. Good guy. He's actually just really rolling out his marketing strategy right now. So today's kind of the first day. If you start to peek around on the internet, and I'm sure Giovanni will start sharing these things as they come out, you'll definitely see a lot of your typical articles from all your great PR outlets like Associated Press, Fox, CBS, all that good stuff. They're doing a traditional PR blast to get really some brand awareness up and uh, produce some digital real estate. I've got the loudest cat, guys. I apologize. Cat, stop. But they're
That's fine.
they're doing that traditional,
Give her some food.
right? Sorry, doing a traditional PR push with some articles, and then from there, of course, they're doing your good old YouTube videos and a little bit of a Twitter presence, and then gonna really try to start to transition into some more focused SEO targeted strategies for the exact regions that they're trying to adopt. Their market immediately isn't necessarily everybody. Of course, they want to adopt any of us DeFi users over into their platform as quickly as possible. But the real solution here really is services for the underserviced. So a lot of this is going to be targeted campaigns directly in like Puerto Rico and other underlining areas to try to drive awareness and adoption there. But of course, you can't do any of that if you don't have at least like a decent performing chart and a decent performing presence already within an existing community. So you will see like your PR releases, a bunch of AMAs with groups like yourself, and a bunch of videos released over the coming 2 to 3 weeks to really drive that presence during the pre-sale, and then some heavy hitting, locally targeted marketing as soon as launch kind of kicks off.
Great. So tell me more about the road plan then. What's next? Now it's the launch and all of these utilities that you're listing. How many of them are going to be there for the launch?
Well, honestly, right now we're still building. So, as far as the actual release of the platform, that's probably not going to be for a few months until after launch. As right now, they're focused on getting launched. Once we're out the gates there, they'll do a DevOps expansion and they'll bring on a few additional developers. Right now, it's just me and a small team that I run, and we'll need quite a few more hands to kind of make that last push to get everything done. They are focused on that. Some of it is capital, so that's a portion of what the pre-sales for. They are going to reserve some of those funds. 50% of everything raised will go directly to liquidity. The other 50% is going to be divided through marketing and through development, and also paying a few third-party solution providers. So as soon as it does debut on day one, you do actually have not just a platform that allows multi-chain swaps, but you have a platform that does numerous things. Not everything that they have envisioned will be embedded in the platform on day one, but it will come with a suite of offerings, and as well, they will continue to update as that moves along. The entire completion of the platform from everything that they've envisioned so far would probably honestly be about a full year on build process. But you would be able to see something that would closely resemble what that finished build would look like realistically within 6 months. You'll see an early release of it within 3 months and stuff like that.
Okay, so it's not really ready to roll out when you're launching the token. So you're launching the token to get funding, or is what is the purpose of the token in the beginning then?
You know that the purpose of the token in the beginning really is for that funding need. They needed to drive a little bit of awareness behind the community so they can have something there to hopefully adopt the project immediately on debut, as well as provided a little some additional funding for the further development. For instance, a lot of what they've done now is close and solidify the deals with the main third-party solution providers. So how the accounts are established, set up, and ran, that infrastructure provided by Circle, of course, is not free. Getting that covered, that way we have something to build on already, and that's what we're working on now, is building all of the BondPay actual platform directly on top of that. That is what we're currently working on. Even once you have that, though, so you've already invested significant money, time, and development into that, you then just have something that you still have to continuously tie in additional tools in order for it to be utilized as a actual consumer product for people. So right now we're kind of transitioning from that foundation stage into the consumer product stage right now, but the development is ongoing.
Great. All right. Thank you for clarifying that. Is there something else that you would like to mention before we move into some questions from the audience here? I see some hands are raised already. Now I can't hear you.
I don't have anything, but I'm more than willing to answer any questions.
Okay, let's go then. I will unmute a few people here. Let's see. We have the moon and King Elf up here. Let's see if you connect or not. Sometimes they fall off. I think the moon is connecting. Can you hear me, guys?
I can hear you just fine.
Yeah. All right. So if you had to ask yourself a question, what would it be, Chris? While we wait for these questions.
Oh, nice. If I had to ask myself a question.
Now, if you
All
were
right, so
me and ask you a
yeah.
question.
So if I was you, I would probably ask something along the line. You really asked a lot of the basic good ones. The basic good ones tend to rely around what sets you apart. How are you going to market it? How much runway do you have for marketing? Stuff like that. I can say I can kind of get into that right now and kind of cover some of that just to clarify anybody's woes. There has been a fair marketing budget established and already implemented again from now through the actual launch. The marketing funds that are earmarked from the pre-sale are pretty significant. Again, this team knows pretty well, and most teams should probably realize this early on as soon as they get into projects, that more than likely what your project is going to end up being is a marketing project. You'll end up having something that you want to sell to somebody, but then everything else that you're doing from that point on really is just marketing. So they have, again, hired somebody really good for that, and they have a pretty significant plan in place currently. In my opinion, it started a little too late, but it is starting now, and it's good that it's starting now. I think they'll gain some traction over the next coming weeks, and everything should be pretty good.
That's good. All right, we have three persons up here now. We will start with Jay. Jay, what is your question?
Hello, Mary. Good evening. Can you hear me?
One question each also.
Okay.
Remember that.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So basically, I can see that operational funds has 0.9%, the liquidity has 0.3%, buyback 0.15, while the development funds and marketing funds have like 0.83% each. And when you sum this up, it comes up to about 3%, or if you want to use it in decimal, about 300%. I don't know, it doesn't really make sense in terms of 100%. Can you just elaborate why you have it in this, I don't know, in this form? Is that like the tokenomics of the project or something?
So I think I understood your question, and for your perspective, like I think I probably viewed it the same way that you did. So I'm the developer. I wrote the contract, and whenever I wrote the contract, I wrote it in on my end as zero point 0.3 to liquidity and the rest of the project, because that's really what it boils down to. It's 2.7% goes back to the project in the form of ETH, and the 0.3 goes added to liquidity. Is that what your question is?
Something like that, but not exactly.
Okay. And so the reason why he broke it down the way he did is because he was trying to just be as transparent as possible to let everybody know how he's going to have those funds actually divided per volume. So over that volume revenue, that's what he intends for those funds to actually go towards.
So what happens to the remaining 97%?
I'm sorry, I apologize. I couldn't quite understand what that was.
Yeah.
What happens with the 10%, he asked, I think.
The extra 10%?
Can you clarify, Jay?
Yeah.
No, I feel like what happens with the remaining 97%, basically.
Sorry, I really don't understand what you're saying.
I'm sorry, guys. Did you get what I said?
No.
No, I don't think they did. Talk slowly, Jay. Talk slowly.
Okay, so I was asking like what happens because we just talked about like 3% totally. So I'm asking like where the remaining 97% of the funding, like where is that allocation going to basically?
Oh, fantastic question. Okay, so they're just talking about the volume tax. Like that's just the trading tax. So like that's the tokenomics on the token. So there's a 3% tax, and the of that 3%, the sorry, of the it breaks down to 2.7% going to like the development of the project itself. So that'll break down into marketing, development cost, administrative costs, things like that. And then the remainder goes directly into liquidity. Even the actual trade, of course, always goes to liquidity.
Oh, okay. That clears things up now. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. All right, next person up is North. What is your question, North?
Yeah, hello, Mary. Good evening.
Hello. Good evening.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Yeah, so I read that the BondPay would be integrating their decks into their application. So I would love to know, would you be having like a DEX aggregator that would maybe connect to other DEXs in cases whereby the liquidity is low for a particular swap? And since you're integrating it to an application, how would you go about that? Because most DEXs are actually just web based and not being integrated into an application.
And that's a really great question. So, working with an existing aggregate is the solution, to tell you the truth. So, there's existing aggregates now that are finalizing the adaptability for embedding into an application. As far as the deck side, that is how we will solve that solution. Um, there's no reason to invent the wheel there. We're purposely trying to keep transaction fees as low as possible. So we're not gonna, if you're operating on a DEX, you're already going to be paying those fees. We're not trying to make a fee on top of that. So being able to offer those DEX trades, especially multi-chain, through those aggregate services, we're just working with a third-party solution there.
All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Mary.
Thanks, North. All right, we have Sam Chiss. What is your
All
question,
right.
Sam?
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. So my question to BondPay is, I know you're live on ETH, so I want to know why you chose the ETH method, and also if you have any plans of going live on other networks in order to bring more users. Thank you.
Did you
Did
understand
you
the
get my
question?
question?
Wait, we can't hear you.
Yeah, I didn't hear.
Chris, could you hear the question?
I actually apologize, guys. I was briefly distracted in real life. I'm so
All right,
sorry.
Sam, go ahead. One more time, please. Your question.
All right. My question is, since you're on ETH network, why did you choose the ETH? And also, do you have plans of going multi chains?
Another great question, man. So the platform is built multi-chain from inception. So the platform itself works on all chains. The token, they asked me, of course, hey, can we launch multi-chain? And simply put, I didn't want to split their liquidity starting out. They have an upgradable contract, so they can launch to an additional chain at any point in time that they wish, and we can quickly and easily do that. That being said, they'll definitely want the liquidity backing necessary for stable trading. So they'll have to build up to that point in time. Now, why did they pick ETH? Well, they started off on BSC. They were having a lot of issues with some of the financial providers that they were working with for integration, just not actually accepting or being compliant with BSC. So it kind of boiled down to which direction do you guys want to go, and we were faced with two choices: Polygon or Ethereum. And it was almost, to tell you guys the truth, the flip of a coin, because we trying to decide which one to go there. Both fantastic networks. What really won out Ethereum over Polygon is some of the infrastructures that they already had in place with their existing partners wouldn't require to be switched because they were already ETH ready and ETH built. For actually utilizing the token itself as a backend settlement provider, this is something that gives value to the token. Therefore, every holder benefits. So it's something that's like fundamental to the project as a whole. They need the token to work and operate in the same way almost that like a touch wallet, a trust wallet token does, or maybe even how Crow does for CDC. It's going to be used as a incentive rewards driver as well as a backend settlement provider for transactions. So having it based on Ethereum made a lot of sense for some of their financial service providers. And again, we're able to do this on a ledger-based system. So on the back end, they're not covering those gas fees to move them from accounts to accounts. It's just the final settlement that they pay the gas on. And that's done through a master account. So it's not done per transaction. It's just done on a batch settlement. Therefore, again, they negated a lot of like the high costs that would come with the actual internal development for the platform. Since that cost was negated, it made a lot of sense for them to just pursue Ethereum, because we also know personally and have access to larger capital and venture in some of the near stages after launch that will be needed to kind of further this along from just a small project into the large entity that they really are aiming to become.
All right. Thanks for the great answers. Thanks, Mary. Good
Thank
luck
you,
to the
Sam.
project.
I don't know what's happening. I'm trying to unmute a few people, but they keep losing signal or something. And time flies, guys. I don't think we have time now for more questions anyway. I would ask you to go to their socials and ask your questions there. Where is the best place to ask questions for the project, Chris?
I would probably say Discord. That's where you'll find me. They have a Telegram, they have a Discord. You can go to either one. I'm never going to be in Telegram though, but I will always be in Discord.
Never? Why?
Actually, you know what? I forgot. We have a bridge. So now we have a bridge set up both ways. So you can go to TG, ask your questions in TG, and I get them in Discord now.
Oh,
So,
that's good.
and I can answer from Discord. What it really is, honestly, is like I don't know. I never adopted Telegram very well, and I just so now if I go on there, I've got like 2 million unanswered messages and notifications, and I can't even do it. So I just don't even go on.
That's
Occasionally, I
fair.
have to, of course, for like certain projects and teams that go into Discord. So we have to go to Telegram. But outside of that, never.
Oh, okay. We'll try and reach you in Discord then. I'm the opposite. I like Telegram better than Discord, but not that anyone care.
Yeah.
Let's move ahead. All right. So I would also like to ask you this question that I usually ask, and that is, where do you see this project go in long term, in like
Can you hear
3
us?
to 5 years? What is your big vision for the project?
Did we lost
Giovanni?
Mary for a sec?
No, Mary's here, man. She just asked you, where do you see this project being in 5 years?
Mary, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you not hear me?
I think he's gone. Yeah, I think he just can't hear us.
All right, maybe you can answer that then,
Yeah,
Chris.
I can answer that.
Maybe only
I
you
think,
and me can hear each other now. No, nobody else. Who knows?
hey, that's kind of exciting, exclusive, isn't it?
Let's go.
Um,
Answer.
I I think, honestly, I think I can answer his question for him. If Giovanni is able to accomplish everything that he envisions, then BondPay should be a staple service provider for not just Web3 users, but again, really trying to find those unserviced people out there in the wild and taking them into a platform that delivers all of the traditional financial services without actually being a bank and giving you the rights to audit all of your funds at all times with everyone else. If they're able to accomplish that, I think they can end up being a staple within this community and so many more communities. I know that the guy and their team is so dedicated and thorough that as long as they just keep plugging away, I am sure that this will be accomplished.
Great. And now he's back. Giovanni is back here. Maybe you have something to add, Giovanni, about your long-term vision for the project.
Oh, for a long-term vision. Can you guys hear me or not?
Yeah, we can hear you
Okay,
now.
perfect.
We could earlier as well, but
So for long-term vision, what I envision is just having this bridge at the gap, right? Or this gap bridged. I want to be able to offer, along with my team and our team, just working together and our community, to be able to offer every benefits that we have on the DeFi space, but for every kind of person at the outside at the DeFi space, just normal people that don't know and don't care about crypto, and provide them with the same benefits and the same experience that we actually have at the on DeFi, without them even knowing that they're actually using blockchain technology, or that they're launching, or that they're using any kind of crypto at all. So, and along that, it's like, I think that Chris said it. It's like bringing every kind of financial services that we are used to dealing with just on a normal life with the banking and just a typical bank, but have it easier, have it faster, have it cheaper, have it more transparent, and have it even more trust and having, for us not to trust each other or even trust the company that is actually working on it, because it is all going to be 100% safe and 100% publicly auditable, if if that makes any sense.
great. Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's always good to hear the long-term vision, in my opinion, to see the team or the developer or the founders, how what the real purpose is or what they are hoping to achieve. And yeah,
So
good answer.
it can get a little, it can be a lot of things, because if you notice, like almost all of our services are already offered on the traditional finance world. Then why can't we actually have it in our side and offer all in one place, just like they do on the traditional space? And that's what we're trying to accomplish here, just like Chris said a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, great. All right. It has been a pleasure talking with you and listening to all the all the sounds from different parts of the world.
Right.
I like that.
But
And one last Mary question here. That is, what do you put on your pizza over in Puerto Rico and wherever you are, Chris? Do you like pineapple on pizza?
No, I'm a cheese only type of guy. I just eat plain cheese pizza.
What? That is boring. Sorry. No
No,
offense, but
I'm super boring. Look, I am super boring.
it's like driving a white car. Come on.
that's me.
Sorry.
That's me. It's fine.
So Giovanni, do you eat pineapple on pizza?
Pizza in Puerto Rico, we eat it with as much meat as possible, or as different meats as possible. You can add chicken, pepperoni, just sausage, just any
Ah, okay.
kind of meat that you have. Just throw it in there.
That's good. Spicy, I guess.
It's more of a, if you have avocado, just throw it in there with
Oh, avocado is nice.
yeah.
Yeah. You have one of the best avocados over there in Puerto Rico, I think.
Yep, I love avocados, honestly.
They're huge, like footballs. Anyway, guys, no offense for driving white cars. I like colorful cars. That's why. Anyway, it was a pleasure talking with you guys, and I will give you the floor for a closing statement, one each if you want, or however you want to go ahead about that. And also remember, guys, they have their pre-sale out now, and the information how to buy, no financial advice, obviously. The information you can find on their socials, I think. I saw it on Telegram.
Telegram.
All right, go ahead.
So I'll go first. My closing statement is simple. I appreciate the opportunity you guys gave for us to come up and talk, share the project with everybody. If interested, definitely check out the official links. All the information's there. You can participate through Coinbase, or you can participate through the swapper address. And I think they're even giving some consideration to actually putting a little bit of the pre-sale onto a launch pad in the coming weeks. So just keep your eyes out, get in while you can if you're interested. And again, thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak.
So what is the price then, uh, in difference between now, if you buy now, or if you buy later at the launch?
It's very for the actual launch. It's there's a 5% difference, so you end up with a 5%
Okay,
gain
good.
in
So no
price.
super dumps coming. Is it
No, yeah, no
vested?
super.
Is the
It's
pre-sale
not
vested?
it's not vested, but the general concept behind the pre-sale has just been slow and go and no huge gain. That way there's not too much anticipation or hype on the actual pre-sale, and we just get as much information out as possible. That way people can comfortably join the community, comfortably participate, and then we can all just launch together.
Very good. Okay. All right, Giovanni, you're up.
Yep. So it's hard to piggyback on what Chris said, but I 100% and we 100% agree with him. But thank you very much for crypto miners to have us here. And nothing, guys. Just like Chris said, just follow the official links. If you have any questions, we always have every Tuesdays and Thursdays. We have open office hours, and ask why the AYA, that's ask you anything, and we just take that time to integrate to interact with the community, and just feel free to just ask us any questions, even Telegram, Discord. We're going to be there for you guys, so feel free to ask any questions, and thank you guys for having us.
Thank you so much, guys, for coming, and BondPay